say you ain't the one to jump in our relation. And I don't mind, but when we touch it's elevation.
Up. We're going up.
Going up. U.S. men's national team 2018 FIFA World Cup.
Maybe that's the wrong podcast. I'm not sure.
Russia. Oh, right. Okay. We weren't in the World Cup.
Not this time.
Still been good.
We've been excellent, though. What we've played has been excellent. Everybody, Mike and Lebs.
France in the final. We beat France.
We
would win this World Cup.
We would win this World Cup. That's what I'm getting out of it. We are basically we are better than France, who may or may not win tomorrow. Mike and Lebs talk football. It's January. It's July the 14th, and Mike is driving back from being in charge of a charity run here in East Texas. I am sitting in my home. I finally have internet, which is amazing. And we are ready to talk some football. So sorry, guys, that it's been so long. Life has been crazy. I have not even gotten to watch the games as much as I've wanted to because I actually have to work now. And I have to, can't watch games during the day. What is this? Can I go back to college again?
It's not a life worth living, man.
What is this like? Why am I working at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday? I should be at the pub in Memphis drinking. I don't know. I don't know what the decisions I've made have not panned out. Anyway, here we are doing what we always do. Mike is on the phone, and I'm super excited to talk to you, buddy. It's been way too long. How have you been? Is your life going okay? I know that everybody out there would just love to know how life's been looking for you.
I'm doing fantastic, man. We did a charity run today in honor of my niece who passed away over a year ago in February, and second annual race this year. We raised a lot of money again. My sister does a lot of renovations to the school and stuff, and it's had me anxious. You want it to look a certain way, and I did this last year, and as soon as I get out there, it's easy. Everyone's having fun like it's not a thing, and we had such an amazing time. And
that's great.
I have about 2 more weeks of summer break, and then I start year 2 of med school, so I'm just soaking it up, working a little, and just hanging out, man. I'm enjoying it. I will be in a pub tomorrow watching the match.
Lucky man. I will be not watching it in a pub. I have to fly, and I am an idiot and didn't schedule my flight very well, and I scheduled my flight to be I went with the cheapest flight I could possibly get, and of course it's exactly during the match, so I'm going to have to watch it afterwards. Take off at 8 a.m., but it's 2 flights back to back. But maybe if I can
buy the Wi-Fi here.
That's what I'm thinking. If I can buy the Wi-Fi on the airplane, I'm going to do it. I mean, what is it going to be? What are they going to charge me? $100 or something crazy? I don't know.
Like $10 tops.
Oh, done. Absolutely. So then maybe I will get to watch it. Hopefully I can watch it on the plane.
How will you watch it? Do you have a subscription?
Yeah. Or, they'll let me get on Reddit on the plane, right?
Correct.
Yes, I can access, if I can access Fox Sports. I don't know. Shouldn't they just provide the game for free for everyone on the plane? Everyone here in America is really interested, right?
Sometimes you can buy the TV subscription or something. You can subscribe to it, and it'll give you it'll give you all the local channels. It'll be on there.
Yeah. Well,
who are you flying? Are you flying Spirit?
No, I'm flying American.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Cool. Well, we'll see what happens.
I think.
Regardless, the game is tomorrow, 10 o'clock. The final is here. And do you want to talk about the final now, or do you want to wait until the end to talk about – let's wait till the end to talk about our final predictions. So we're going to go back in time to the last podcast. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And you and Esteban did a wonderful job holding it down. I was unavailable. And you guys talked a little bit and were basically wrong about every single thing that y'all said. Just got to clear that up. Esteban, you're a great guy. You're a great guest. But, brother, you couldn't have been more wrong.
Hey, in my defense, I said England was going to shithouse that game against Colombia. I got that right.
Okay. It's been ringing in my ears let's go ahead and start by talking about the game that was
Oh,
on TV
God.
the
Yeah,
next
I
day
was about to
after
get that.
we
Yeah,
dropped the
right.
podcast
It's the
drops, and then France play Argentina, and France how did Esteban describe them? Do you remember? How did Esteban
It wasn't
describe
good,
France?
and I was there for the ride.
He said they play with no spirit, with no passion, that they're soulless. He said soulless. I'm confident about that. And the next day, they came out and played an absolute incredible game against Argentina. Give me a recap of that France-Argentina game and answer the question, was that the best game of this World Cup?
It wasn't my favorite game, but I'll tell you, watching France in the group stage, they got outplayed by Peru. They had that shithouse game against Denmark. I don't remember who the other team in their group is. I'm not responsible for that. But was it Australia? Like they weren't convincing, and they weren't. But against Argentina, like I was genuinely shocked to see a team elevate their games so dramatically they did. And I mean, for me, that game had a few individual moments. I think it was Di Maria's goal that kind of clawed them back into it before halftime. But France was just too much for him, and Pogba was everywhere, man, with the silky touch, he looked like better in some ways, but that reminded me of like a vintage Yaya Toure performance with
Ooh.
the really nice vision.
So, as I'm watching the game, I'm sitting there and I watched it with my dad, who you've watched some games with my dad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he's not a big football guy, but he does enjoy watching the games when they're good games, when they're scoring and they're exciting. So he's an American fan, right? I mean, let's just be honest. He's a quintessential American football fan. Only wants to watch it when it's exciting, which is fine. I understand that. And he's watching that, and when he saw that Di Maria shot, he's not a very expressive person, but he jumped out of his chair and goes, "Ooh!" Like, he reacted, and he was like, "That's the best goal I've ever seen." And it was cool because we were watching it live, and he was into it, and it really made it fun. I was cursing my luck though, because not my luck, but just I was like, "Dad gummit, I'm going to have to say nice things about Paul Pogba. Like I love to hate Paul Pogba, and I'm open about it. But my gosh, he had such a good game. He played amazing. He has played amazing. That game was the starting point, and he has finally started looking like the guy that we all knew that he could be every game since then. And I want to relate him to someone else that you and I both love to hate, Marouane Fellaini, who also came on for Belgium against Japan and looked amazing. And so that was something I've been dreading getting to, so I just had to get that off my chest. Marouane Fellaini and Paul Pogba, two of the players that I love to hate more than just about in the entire world, both had really, really good World Cups from that round of 16 on. But I tell you what,
It's interesting. Like, what is Mourinho doing that's limiting Pogba so much? He was a great free-flowing sort of player at Juventus, and like he goes to Man U, and we're like, who is this player? And now he's kind of that player that we thought he was.
Yeah.
For France.
If we don't
Man,
see it,
what
if we
about-
don't see Pogba wake up, if we don't see Pogba play well in the EPL this year, I don't think it'll happen, and it'll be Mourinho's fault. But he probably will.
Di Maria's goal, sick, like just out of nowhere, almost dead. The ball was almost dead, and it was curling up. But the other goal was as equally, if not more impressive for me. Pavard's goal. The way he set it up, the way he deliberately curled it, and outside of his foot, took it out of the air.
Oh,
insane!
Have mercy. Amazing.
It was a lot like Isco's goal from the group stage. No, not Isco. Was it? It was the right back. I can't remember who that was.
For Spain?
But anyways, yeah, similar goal though, right?
Yeah.
Very similar.
I remember the one you're talking about. Yes. What is that guy's name? He plays for.
Was it Nacho?
Hang on, I'll look it up. Keep going.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is a goal more impressive when it goes off the post? Because the Spanish goal went off the post and ricocheted to the other side and went in. Is that more impressive?
Yeah, I mean it's more perfectly placed and harder to save.
It's like less savable.
Right.
With neither goal being savable, but even less savable.
Yeah. Yep. So that was an incredible game. I definitely think that France deserved the win.
Yeah.
The scoreline complements Argentina a little bit
Yeah.
because Aguero had that 93rd minute goal to bring them within one, but it felt like the game was over once Mbappe scored that 68-minute goal and they were up 4-2. I felt like it was done and dusted at that point because Argentina they looked kind of dead on their feet. Plus, I don't think they had the belief.
Yeah, man.
I felt like they felt like it was inevitable. What did you think? Did you feel like they coming into that game? I think just once they got behind that bad, they didn't have the belief that they could get back into it.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I thought France looked like they were full of confidence, energy, belief. They were having fun. They were playing for each other. And Argentina formation was a little bit better. They had I think Benego was playing, and that was like a nice link. But Messi, you just got to get him on the ball. I thought he should have played deeper in the midfield. He was playing like as his false nine striker, and that worked at Barcelona when he was doing that. But he had a midfield to supply him. There was a stat in that game. Messi received one ball in the box. Like, you can't – that's just unacceptable. Like, you're not – Argentina didn't have a chance if they weren't utilizing Messi in the right way. And I don't understand it was – this is my final thought on this. If it's true that Messi and the team were kind of calling the shots, why would Messi want to play in that position? Like, I just don't understand. Vice versa, if the coach was actually doing it, why would he play Messi there? So,
yeah, I saw that stat about Messi having so few touches in the box. So it's sad. The World Cup sadness for Messi continues, but France deserved to go through. Moving on, Uruguay knocks out Portugal. That was an amazing performance by Cavani, and I think he looked. That's the kind of fight that Argentina don't have. What Cavani showed in that game, beating Portugal. Do you have any comments on that game?
Man, it's just such a shame Cavani got injured.
Yeah.
Because, man, talk about a team. That's a team that believes. They know what they're doing. They play for each other. I mean, Cavani's tracking back in his own box.
Yeah.
There was a play where the right back went up, and Cavani went all the way back into defense and made a tackle in the box. Like, I'm just like, the way this team plays for each other. And then there's the goal between the two strikers, the opening goal. Suarez, okay, Cavani crossed it way over, and this beautiful pass to Suarez. Suarez dribble, cut inside, puts it on a plate for Cavani.
Yep.
Like, it was such a beautiful goal. And then the second goal was just one touch curler. Like, that was one of my favorite games of the Cup. And, they were just too much for Portugal. The defense was amazing, the determination, the work rate. William Carvalho, that dude was everywhere, tackling, fighting. Like, that's just a team that just played for each other.
Yep. They put in the extra effort. Yeah, that opening goal with Cavani, and I got it, the long hair as he's diving towards that back post curler, and he smashes it in and then just barely misses, ramming his head into the goal post. And, I mean, it's just all out, everything on the line, everything the World Cup's supposed to be. By the way, thanks to our backroom staff. Hank, thanks, buddy. It was Nacho. So, Mike, you were right on with that incredible half volley earlier in the tournament. So, very good. Thanks, backroom staff. Thanks, Hank. Appreciate you guys. We couldn't do it without you. We love you. Moving on. This, what an upset. Russia and Spain, with Russia knocking out Spain on penalties. Mike, aren't Spain always supposed to win when it gets to penalties?
You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Spain and Russia on penalties, and Russia knocks out Spain on penalties. How shocked were you?
I didn't think it was going to be a problem. Interesting, like my whole picture was
Mike, we're losing you, man.
Here.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, everybody, for the technical difficulties.
So they fire their coach, and they've been playing brilliantly.
Mike, sorry, brother. You're going in and out. We'll get Mike's thoughts on that as soon as he can get some signal. So moving on to the next game, Croatia beats Denmark. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. But one interesting fact about that game is that it did. No, you're still cutting in and out, bud. One interesting thing about the Croatia-Denmark game is that it did go to full time and then went to penalties, and Croatia won on penalties on that game. So Croatia, I'm going to skip ahead. One thing that everybody was talking about after the Croatia beat England is like, why doesn't this Croatia team get tired? They've played full-time, extra-time penalties, full-time, extra-time penalties, and then full-time, and they beat England in extra time. So I don't know how they're going to have enough gas, but we'll talk about that in the final. But yeah, Croatia did beat Denmark on penalties. Mike, are you back? Can you hear me?
I'm here.
Perfect.
No?
Yeah, I can hear you. Tell me about Spain versus Russia. Tell me what you were going to say. We made
Spain 7 got big. I have big thoughts on Spain.
Okay.
I'm here.
Yep.
Nope.
Just barely, but go ahead.
Yeah?
Yeah, just barely. But
Beautiful, yeah. And just interrupt me if I'm cutting out.
Okay. Man. So sorry, everybody. He's in the backwoods right now.
Got big thoughts.
All right. We'll just keep going. Brazil beats Mexico.
Spain. 2-3 days before the World Cup, I can't remember which, they fired Lupin.
All right. So, Mike, you there again?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Spain, 2 or 3 days before the World Cup, they fire their coach.
Let's see if I can rattle it off. So, 2 or 3 days before the World Cup, they fired their coach because he announced the job he was taking after the World Cup without consulting them. I'm conflicted on that. The team had watched them in qualifying. They kind of gotten their swagger back. I'm like, this is interesting, but whatever. And they played pretty decent in the group stage. They played an amazing match against Portugal and kind of started sputtering out. And then finally in this Russia game, laying on the ball, it felt very labored. I don't know what the word is. They weren't creating a lot of chances.
Ponderous is how I've heard them described.
Oh, man, that's the word I wanted.
Yeah.
We listen to the same guy.
Yeah.
That's the exact perfect word to describe this team because they, with their coach who was fired, they'd kind of switched a little bit away from possession and being more deliberate with the ball. And I think in that match against Portugal, we saw that. They were direct, they were creating chances, but I don't think their current coach he's never coached. I think he coached one team, but he's usually been the director, and he didn't know he was going to be coaching. So, yeah, and, Russia really didn't do much in the whole match. Spain were super ponderous, and it went to penalties. And once you let it go there, it's a flip of a coin. Whoever the confidence and the keeper manages to save.
You got to be
really disappointing for me.
You got to be amazed about Russia, though, and how far they made it in the tournament. Really incredible. That's a team out punching its weight.
They should be, a lot of people didn't predict them to make it out of the group. So, I hope it's a celebration there. Because, it was, as far as they went, that's an incredible tournament for them.
People were...
And still to barely go out.
Yeah. People were talking online about how they wanted to celebrate like a Russian, which was driving up and down a main street with incredibly loud music on in a Corvette with no shirt on, chugging vodka, and with models in the back seat hanging out the windows. Is that what you've heard about how that's the equivalent? That's how you celebrate like a Russian?
Man, we're in the wrong country. Is that true? Is that what they do?
That's what some of the journalists.
It sounds like a party, man.
Oh, I think it's been a huge party over there for the World Cup from everything that I've read, and I think everybody's been having a good time. Sam Lee from Goal.com, who is a contributor to the 9320 pod, which I listen to regularly, he came on yesterday and was talking about how in the city that he's in, I don't remember, Stalingrad? Yeah, in Stalingrad. Is it Stalingrad? I think so. That there are bridges, and that they when you're on the mainland, the bridges go up at 1 a.m. and then they don't go back down until 5 a.m. And so there's only two options if once you're there and it's 1 a.m. and you need to get home off the mainland. You either pay a very expensive taxi, he said it's like 50 or 60 euros or whatever, or you just stay up until 5 a.m. And he said so pretty much his group been staying up till 5 a.m. every day, just partying all night regularly. And so I think it's been a pretty big party over there. Hopefully it'll be that. Hopefully it'll
bizarre.
Be that good. Wow.
Exploitation. Exploitation on money there. That's the name.
Oh, well, I mean, come on. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because people are going to pay it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on. Yes, disappointing Spain. Good for Russia. They made it further than we thought. Croatia, Denmark. I already mentioned to the listeners about they rolled through Denmark. Not rolled through, but I mean they beat them in penalties. But it felt like an inevitability to me. I do believe they were the better team at the time, and we've said that. You were big on Croatia from the very beginning of the tournament, so I want to give you full credit for that. Esteban and you talking about Mexico and him saying that Mexico would beat Brazil was proven to be very incorrect in the next day. But let's wait. I want to get your thoughts on Croatia, but don't start talking about him yet because I want to save it for when we talk about the final. I'm going to talk about Brazil.
I just want to say one thing about – I'll say one thing about Denmark.
Yeah.
Such a shamble that Peru didn't make it out of that group. Peru, for me, played some of the best football in that group. And it all goes back to that penalty. Man, I can't remember his name. He missed against Denmark, and Denmark ended up tying or winning that game. They won that game. I mean, Denmark had Eriksson, but there wasn't much else. They weren't offering much. It was just kind of by default they made it out of the group, I felt like.
By default is a good way to put it.
So, go for it.
Brazil, Mexico. This game, I was very excited because I was excited going into the game and I was excited after the game because I'm full out rooting for Brazil. They played really well against Mexico. And when I say really well, they looked really solid defensively. The midfield way outplayed Mexico's midfield. They won 2-0. And I felt like they were really hitting their groove. I was excited for them to play Belgium because the defensive stability and the midfield I felt could match up really well against Belgium. And then I thought Brazil edged out Belgium on their attack. So going into the Brazil-Belgium game, I felt like Brazil were favorites to win the game, which they were favorites to win the game. And Belgium just showed Belgium took their chances better and created more chances. But very disappointing. This game I was excited, and Brazil basically really, really let me down against Belgium. There's been all this Gabriel Jesus versus Firmino talk. I'm disappointed in Gabriel Jesus. He did have I think he'd worked hard. He worked well in the build-up play, but I'm very disappointed in his lack of finishing. I don't think he did not score a single goal the whole tournament. And so Brazil didn't create a lot of chances either against Belgium. The Belgium defense, I skipped way ahead to the Belgium game, but I feel like I just wanted to talk about Brazil.
Segue it.
Yeah, just go straight to it. Brazil-Belgium going into the game, like I said, I felt like Brazil were the favorites. With the beginning of the game and the first goal of the game was the own goal off of a corner that came off of Fernandinho. But Belgium had and this is directly contradicting what we've said, but just shows, but nobody knew this. Belgium were better set up. Roberto Martinez did a better job setting this team up than Tite did. And they had their plans for the free kicks and corner kicks. They did the same thing. They executed the same set-piece play multiple times, and it worked really well every single time. And all it was Vincent Kompany charging to the near post, coming off of a pick that was set for him, to use a basketball term. And he kept being the first man on the ball on the front post and redirecting the ball back towards the goal. And Vincent Kompany is amazing at headers on corners. Fantastic. I've seen him score them against Man United so many times against tons of teams. And so he did his job extremely well. Brazil never marked him. For some reason, they were never able to adapt and get him marked. And so he was responsible for that first goal, which was technically an own goal, but it was because of his run and the wonderful ball in from Eden Hazard, I believe. And then KDB showed why he's one of the best midfielders in the world during this game. He and Fellaini and who else was in that midfield, Mike, for Belgium? I know Mertens was in there, but he was up front.
I think it was Axel
Witsel, yep.
KDB, and Fellaini, right?
Yeah,
Is that right?
I think so. They bossed Brazil's midfield, and Brazil had a lot of the possession. They ended up with 59% possession in the game, but they never felt really threatening to me. I never felt like there was a goal really about to happen. They pounded the box, and they had 27 shots, but only 9 of those were on target. Brazil felt to me like Manchester City did season before last, Pep's first season, when it was a lot of possession, but you never really felt like there was anything that was going to come from it, if that makes sense. It was possession without reason for possession, or possession without intent, exactly. And Belgium looked very strong defensively, and I felt like the 2-1 was definitely earned by them, and I felt like they deserved it. What did you think from that game?
So first half, that was like Brazil. Every now and then, Belgium would allow Brazil to play with the ball. Like that midfield in the first half, I was like, my God, with KDB's goal and the passes he was slinging around and understanding and the switching of play. And, Brazil, like you said, Brazil picked up on possession, just like as the game naturally ebbs and flows, but it was like not that threatening. They seemed to be playing their way into the game at the end. And when Coutinho missed that chance, Neymar dribbled in, and then he laid off the most beautiful ball to Coutinho. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was like the 88th or 92nd minute or something like that.
I do remember this.
And he tries to curl it first time to the top right corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I mean, he scores bangers all the time. Like, that's what Coutinho does. He scores bangers. But I'm like, you just pass that into the bottom corner. The dude has one of the most accurate passing, and he tries to go for that.
Yep.
He goes for the banger when he could have passed it in. I was just like, man, why? And then that's when I was like, okay, this game's over, because that was the most clear-cut chance in the second half for me.
Would it have been different if Firmino had started?
Besides, obviously.
Do you think it would have been different if Firmino had started the game instead of Gabby?
I think he's...
Sorry, everybody, for the technical difficulties in this case as well. We'll get Mike's thoughts on that as soon as he comes back and gets back with us.
I do.
The games after that were Sweden beating Switzerland 1-0, and that game was a grind, honestly. Colombia and England won in penalties. That was huge for them to get that monkey off their back. I think this will help England for future competitions, and it'll help their team mentality. But as soon as Mike comes back, we're going to talk. We're getting close to discussing Croatia beating England, and we want to go into a little bit of depth about that, and about the English fans, and about the English tradition surrounding their football team, and about their mentality. It's been quite a fallout from that, and I think it's definitely something interesting. Mike, are you back yet? We may have lost him for good there. France beat Uruguay 2-0. Cavani was injured, and so it felt like he was kind of the beating heart of that team. France just looked like they were too much for him. The pace came out. I want to go back to what Nate had said on a previous pod about how France looked like they're having fun. It's a bunch of young guys. I think they're really a lot of fun at this point.